Why would someone's word of the year be unreasonable? Your goals, your dreams, your etc. may seem unreasonable to other people. Okay. The fact that I have a podcast might seem unreasonable to other people. Go to work, go do your job, etc. Okay. And it might seem unreasonable, but that's the thing. It's your dream, it's yours. It may seem unreasonable to others, and maybe it might seem a little bit unreasonable to you. But once again, you recognize what your potential is and what you can do if you put in the work. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to the podcast, the Speaker Vision Podcast. I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So this episode is a really neat one. I'm really excited about this episode. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm excited about them all, but really excited about this one. We are analyzing the business advice from the creator of Digital Course Academy, DCA, an online business marketing podcast, Amy Porterfield. And so this is actually really funny. It's like I don't know the last name Porterfield to be a well-known last name, but it's literally like all over my life right now. So I'll explain. So the National Federation of the Blind of Arizona, the president of the organization of Arizona is Donald Porterfield. Okay. I did an episode with virtual assistant and OBM coach Alex Porterfield, and she's fantastic. And that was one of my great interviews, a great episode. Definitely check it out. And then, funny enough, the Blindness Center, Savvy Services for the Blind, where I am in charge of staff training, the president of that company, that nonprofit, her name is, you guessed it, it's literally Amy Porterfield. So I thought that was hilarious. So, but this episode is about the advice, the business advice from one Amy Porterfield, who's creator of Digital Course Academy, the host of Online Business Marketing Made Easy. We're going to go through some of her business advice, specifically three different things that has really caught my attention, three different things that made me say, wow, okay, yeah, that one hit. That hit. That hit. And I would say that it's unique advice. You don't always hear these different things, in my opinion. I haven't heard them a bunch. And so when I heard them, they really made me. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about with Amy's advice is she talks about, in her most recent episode, she talks about the fact that friendships in business is crucial. Friendships, and she emphasizes friendships and the friendships that she has and business and everything like that, different than her partnerships, but her friendships. And something that really stuck out to me is that that entire episode of Online Marketing Made Easy, um, she never used the word networking, which I thought was interesting, and really talking about the fact that actual, true, genuine friendships are crucial. Um, and it made me think about some of the friendships that I've made in business. So, quick story. So, I went to an event called Build Your Brand Live, where and it was in October, and I became friends with this girl, and her name is Eden Gold. And Eden was actually on the podcast. She's a great speaker, fantastic, a lot of energy, and she's awesome. Okay. And we've become pretty good friends since that event. And what happens is in October went by, we would keep in touch and talk about our different goals and things that we're working on and everything like that. And at the end of January, early February, I had a lot going on. I recently lost my sister, and visiting family in Pennsylvania, and my phone starts ringing, and I'm not in the greatest mood. Okay, my phone's ringing, and who is it? It's Eden. And Eden, I answered like, I'm like, Eden, what's up? How's it going? And she goes, I'm doing all right, Tariq. Sorry about your sister and everything like that. And she goes to me, Tariq. I'm like, Eden. She goes, what are you doing on April 24th and April 25th? I said to her, I'm sure you're gonna tell me. And she said, we're going to this event in Phoenix where they are teaching us and learning about how to get paid to be on more stages and everything like that. And I have your ticket already and we're going. And I said, okay, let's go. And so we went to that event that happened recently and we had such a great time and we learned a lot from that event for sure. More interesting thing, so Eden rented a car while we were at this event and we were going somewhere to get food to go eat. Tariq doesn't drive, obviously. Tariq is blind. But so we were going to get food somewhere and I heard her drive over something. Boom. I heard her drive over something and she didn't notice and and it's really funny. So, well, I guess it wasn't fun that she hit something, but she didn't notice. And then, like 10 minutes later, I hear the car go bing, and all of a sudden, I go, what was that? Oh, low tire pressure. Which tire is it? She goes, oh, passenger, the passenger tire in the front. I said, Eden, you hit something 10 minutes ago. Tariq, stop joking, Tariq. Stop joking. And so it's on like 26, 25 PSI. And the rest of the rest of the tires are like 38, 45, whatever, like normal. Okay. She's like, Tariq, stop joking, stop joking. 7 minutes later, it's on like 15 PSI. She's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, we need to like pull over and take care of this tire and change it. I'm just gonna go. I'm going to the hotel. I'm going. I'm going. When she gets back to the hotel, she's like, I made it. And she's on 9 PSI. I didn't even know that cars could do the 9 PSI thing. I don't, I have no idea. I didn't know that that was a thing, but we'll never forget that story, right? And talking about the balances of friendship here a little bit. And her and I don't only talk about business, we talk about life and helping each other out in different ways for sure. But one of the interesting things that she told me was, when I was talking to her, I was like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna figure it out. No worries. Like I don't typically stress out about different things. And so Eden goes to me, Tariq, this probably would have been a lot different if I wasn't here with you in terms of being stressed out about different things and stuff like that. And you told me everything was going to be all right. And everything was. And everything got figured out overall. And there were no issues, no extra charges, anything like that. But it just talks about the fact that having good friendships, people who can balance you out, people who can be there for you during difficult times, and just be a friend and check in and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And granted, I have a lot of good friends who have been there for me and support me in a lot of different ways. And you know, because that situation just happened, I thought it was funny because Eden and I met at a business event. But I've had so many great friendships for sure in my life, and people who've been there for me through a lot of difficult times. And you can't take your friendships for granted, um, and you want to make sure. And just being real, I know myself that there are things that I can do to become a better friend, and so listening to Amy's advice and everything like that, I think is nobody talks a lot about friendship in business. It's not talked about a lot. It's not talked about enough, but it's extremely important. I couldn't agree more, and it really made me think. The second thing that I really want to talk about here in terms of Amy's advice is so a few months back, I was working with a group about New Year's resolutions, and all of them said that they didn't believe in New Year's resolutions. And I don't know if I necessarily connect with that because ultimately, whatever you believe is, whatever your dream is, okay? You just work towards that, okay? And so with Amy, though, she talks about, you hear about different things personally, what people want to do in terms of the year and what that looks like. But in one of her episodes of Online Marketing Made Easy, she talks about the fact that there was one word that truly transformed her business. They had a word of the year. And when it was said in her business and in the group meeting, she was like, "That's our word of the year. That's the one. That's our word of the year." And it got excited. Everybody's excited. They're jumping up and down on her team and everything like that. And which was interesting. And I'll tell you what the word was. The word was unreasonable, which sounds crazy. Why would someone's word of the year be unreasonable? Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is you should listen to that episode. But two, the fact that, your goals, your dreams, your etc. may seem unreasonable to other people. Okay. The fact that I have a podcast might seem unreasonable to other people. Go to work, go do your job, etc. Okay. And it might seem unreasonable, but that's the thing. It's your dream, it's yours. It may seem unreasonable to others, and maybe it might seem a little bit unreasonable to you. But once again, you recognize what your potential is and what you can do if you put in the work. And so I think the importance of having a specific word that you want to live by, that you want to work towards in your business that reminds you. And see, that's the thing about New Year's resolutions. I think sometimes they're so broad and so big, we can tend to be a little bit flaky with them. I've told myself that, okay, Trick, yeah, I'm going to have a word of the year, but then I kind of forget a little bit about it and then I just don't come back to it. But that's absurd, right? Because if I told myself that I'm going to do this particular thing, then I need to do it, okay? So when I'm listening to the episode and Amy Porterfield's talking about this, I'm like, okay, done. I'm picking my word of the year. I'm signing the contract. There's no more negotiations. I've signed the contract. That's my word of the year. That is my word of the year. I've signed the contract. It's done. It's over. There's no more negotiations. Okay. We're not trading. We're not bartering. That is the word of the year we're living by. So if your business, life, etc., if you have a word of the year, you've signed the contract already. You've signed the contract. It's done. It's settled. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Don't copyright me, but it's a great song. But anyways, there's no more negotiations. Absolutely none. Zero. So don't be. I think in that particular lesson, I think there's a lot to take from having a word of the year. Don't be flaky. Commit to it. Sign the contract, and once you've signed the contract, don't negotiate with yourself because you're only wasting your own time and telling yourself that you don't believe in yourself. Vision. All right. The third thing, and I wouldn't say these are in any particular order. Um, I would say they're in the order of reverse order in which I heard them. So the last one that I heard was the friendship one, and then the second one that I heard was the one where I talk about the word of the year. And here's the first one. And originally, when I was thinking about this episode, I was going to do an episode solely on this one topic. Clearly, we're not doing that. But because I had so many different things I want to say about the other two and the stories. And once again, friendship and the word of the year, you don't always hear those things. And so that's why we talked about them. So now, the first thing that I heard, and this one, once again, all this when we go, going back to the year thing, okay? Making goals for the year for yourself personally or for your business or whatever those things look like, okay? It was interesting because she was saying, you actually shouldn't necessarily look at your business as one that you're only looking at long-term goals for the entire year. You should be making your goals and what they look like every 90 days. Looking at the year as every 90 days. And that one really threw me and hit me because this was one of the first episodes I actually had heard of her podcast. And I'd listened to so many more at this point. But that episode, that particular thing hit hard because it was like, wow, that is so true. Because then it really holds you accountable if you look at your goals, if you look at your business outlook within 90 days. It holds you accountable, right? Because if you're going through the year and you're thinking like, okay, 90 days are gone, but I still have, I'm terrible at math. Let's call it 180. If that's good math. So it's 180 plus 80. Let's hold on. What's 180 plus 80? Yeah, I'm 100 days short. But that's besides the point. So so what happens is it's interesting because when you really have to hold yourself accountable. You say, "Hey, if you're trying to map out the entire year and all the goals you want to hit in the entire year, you think you have 365 days. So when 90 days pass, you're like, okay, I'm still good. You know, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm still good. But then the advice is saying, well, no. Every 90 days, you should be thinking about the goals, the metrics you want to hit, the 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 numbers you're trying to get to, the launch you're supposed to have, all those different things, right? And so that one really got to me because I think it's a big accountability thing. Because I think that's why a lot of people say, "Oh, New Year's resolutions don't work." New Year's resolutions might not work because you're good for the first 30 days, and then the next 60, it's like, okay, well, the last 60 days weren't great, but I have the rest of the year to get there, and then I have the rest of the year to get there. No, no, no. I like the 90-day thing, and it's really making me relook at my calendar and my business and what those different things look like to think about what I need to do every 90 days. Something needs to be accomplished. We should be able to have specific metrics, specific concrete things happening every 90 days, right? If it's in your life, if it's in your business, et cetera, et cetera. We want to see change. We want to see action. So just being real, the way my coaching programs work, they're 3 months, they're 90 days, because we know that that's enough time to start seeing some change and making not only change, but sustainable change. So let's go back. Friendships, really valuing your friendship, showing up as a friend, and just being real. I know that's something that I need to be better at myself. So I encourage all of you today to be better as well, be better with me. Let's reach out to the friends we haven't talked to in a while. Let's show up for our friends and our business friends, et cetera, et cetera. I really pointed out, and I don't know if this was on purpose or not, the fact that Amy didn't mention the word networking at all. She mentioned the importance how friendships could be crucial in your tough times, and my friends who are different business owners will talk about different things for sure. But it just really, I was like, okay, that one hit, Amy, solid. And it's funny when she was talking about some of the friends that she had on the podcast are all people who I really enjoy their content, and Jen Gottlieb and Jasmine Starr, all fantastic people, and really, really, really love what they all stand for. Um, Secondly, the the word of the year, so important, so crucial. Don't be flaky, okay? Don't be flaky. Do what you got to do, okay? Once again, we sign the contract. It's done. It's over. Okay. There's no more negotiations. There's no more negotiations. Once again, when you tell yourself that you're going to do something, don't negotiate with yourself, because we signed the contract in the summer. You sign the contract in December. You sign the contract whenever you sign the contract. Negotiations are done. Do what you got to do. And finally, hold yourself accountable every 90 days, right? Every 90 days, we should have some type of result, some type of event, some type of things that we're working towards. We should know. We should be able to look back 90 days ago, know what we accomplished. And if we can't, there's something wrong. And I think that's truly where a lot of New Year's resolutions fail. We think about it in the whole year, but we because, and 90 isn't I would say 90 days is maybe a bit too long to be considered short term, but not short enough to be considered short term. It's really that sweet spot, right? So 90 days. I really think that if we start thinking about our goals and the things we want to get to every 90 days, having specific projects, specific check marks in place every 90 days, we're gonna make some great things happen. So those are the three things, those are the three advice tips that Amy Porterfield was talking about that really stuck out to me, that made me go, and her advice really made me stop and pause. It made me rethink, like, okay, I got to make some changes here. And there's a lot of great things. I suggest that you all check out the podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy. It's fantastic. I'll listen to it on my way to work and everything like that. And there's so much great insight in all these episodes. And I truly recommend that all you take a listen to it and check out the content and all that great stuff. Everyone, so great listening. Well, I guess I was the one talking. So hopefully I was listening to myself. I don't know. But happy that you were here all listening today. And hopefully you all got something out of this. We're talking about holding yourself accountable. Get the free guide, How to Win Every Day. And what it looks like to really navigate the difference between having goals and expectations. Thank you all so much for listening. Welcome to the Speak Your Vision podcast. Have a good evening whenever you're listening. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. Have a good one, everybody.